Yo, what's up YouTube, man? It's your boy Action Jackson. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how the teams that I will be interested in watching this season play out of the NFL season. And I'm going to go over some of the storylines for some of the teams, what will be interesting to watch, and anything like that, man. So yeah, man, let's hop into the video. Hope you guys enjoy. So I didn't make this in any sort of order. This was just the teams that I just had in mind that I think will be interesting. And number one, we'll start off with the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Even though they're on a division, I can't stand the Eagles. But what's going to be interesting to watch about with this, what's going to be interesting to watch with them is how they play in the NFC East against the Dallas Cowboys and how they shape up against the other teams in the NFC East. I feel like they're one of the better teams in the NFC East. I still feel like we're the best just because we take the cake with quarterback. But if you look at the rest of their roster, you see that they have AJ Brown as receiver one. You got Devonta Smith, you got Quez Watkins, you got Greg Ward, I believe. You got their running backs like Miles Sanders. I already know they have a solid offensive line. I know that they got Cam Jurgens in the draft. I know they still got Jason Kelce. They got their left tackle, Vatai. I forgot his first name. He's Australian, I believe. Right tackle, Lane Johnson. And I forgot their guards, Dallas Goedert. And then in the draft, they went out, they got Jordan Davis. They got Nakobe Dean. Then they went out and got Kaiser White from the Chargers. They still got Darius Slay, Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat. So they still have a really good team. But the reason why they're going to be interesting is because they have a pretty nice team surrounded by Jalen Hurts. I feel like the storyline for the Philadelphia Eagles is how good will they be based off of playing off the back of Jalen Hurts. To me, I like Jalen Hurts. Put all the division hate aside, I always liked him when he was at Alabama. He won a couple national championships there. Then once he transferred and he went over to Oklahoma, they saw him more as a passer. So I really liked what he did over there with Lincoln Riley. So, now over here playing with Philly, he took him to the playoffs last year in his first 4 years starting. So basically his first year, he only played like a handful of games. I think like the last 4 games of the season he played. His second year playing, which was to me his first year actually playing, he played from week 1 all the way to week 18 and played into the playoffs. They went out horribly. Yeah, I was glad they got blown out by Tampa, but on Wild Card Weekend. But I still feel like they're going to be an intriguing team to watch. There's a lot of storylines within the NFC East alone because we haven't had a back-to-back division winner in almost 20 years. The last time we had a back-to-back division winner was 2004, and it was the Philadelphia Eagles. And since we won the division last year, even if Philly wins this year, we will continue that cycle. So it will be kind of intriguing to see who wins the NFC East. I believe it comes down to 2 teams between the Cowboys and the Eagles. But like I said, the Eagles are still going to have a pretty good season in my opinion. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I know their first couple of games, they start like with the Lions. I know week 1 they start up against the Lions. I know they play Washington week 3. They have a bunch of easy games that if they just close them out, they can definitely have a pretty nice start to their season. I know they play Jaguars early on. They play the Cardinals. They play us around like week 6, week 7. So they have a pretty soft schedule as the entire NFC East does. But so basically just the storyline of Jalen Hurts really is just what's going to be really intriguing with this team. Can they stay healthy? Man, and that's basically the only thing that would be kind of intriguing watching with the Eagles, just because they play on my division. Then the many factors I just brought up, that's definitely going to be kind of, to me, intriguing watching the Eagles this upcoming season. Number 2 on my list that I made, the Lions. The Lions, to me, they've been drafting really, really well these past 2 seasons. They definitely re-upgraded their offensive line. They got Penei Sewell. They got Taylor Decker. They got their center, Frank Ragnow. So they have a bunch of solid guys on their offensive line. That's really, really nice. Jared Goff, he's definitely somebody. He's a vet in this league. He's been in the league around the same time as Dak and Carson Wentz. They've been around the league for about 7 years. Carson Wentz has been to NFC Championship games. He's been to Super Bowl, lost it in one. So he played on the big stage before, so he's not really new. But I feel like with the Lions, they got a lot better offensively. That was one of their many struggles, but I feel like they just got better overall as a team. Like I said, they still have T.J. Hockenson at tight end. You got Jared Goff, you got DeAndre Jameson Williams, that nice receiver out of Alabama. They got Amon St. Brown, I believe. Really intriguing on the offense standpoint. Then on defense, you got your third-year player, Jeff Okudah. I'm really excited to see what he does this year. Hopefully, he can have a full year healthy. He hasn't been really too much healthy in the league, and he was a really nice corner that I really would have loved the Cowboys have selected, but he was too great of a corner coming out of Ohio State, so we was never going to be able to get a Jeff Okudah unless we traded up in that 2020 draft. But Jeff Okudah is definitely something I like to watch. Aiden Hutchinson, a guy that came out of Michigan, he's an all-Michigan kid, grew up in Michigan, went to high school out there, went to college, and now he's going back there to play his NFL career. I'm real excited to see what Aiden Hutchinson brings into the NFL. Everyone was hyping him up when he was playing at Michigan, and he was selected where everyone was projecting him to go. They thought that he was either going to go 1 or 2. So it's going to be really nice seeing Aiden Hutchinson play. That team, like I said, I really like their head coach, Dan Campbell. The Lions, they have a competitive enough team. But this is another team that I'm saying that they stay healthy because they're normally a team that's really not that healthy. But they play a lot of games early on. They play the NFC East. That's definitely 2 wins, I think, for them that they can get. I believe they can beat a Washington. They can beat a New York. Maybe sneak up and beat Philly week 1 if Philly thinks that they're going to have their number like how they did last year and blow them out. I definitely feel like Detroit can come in and win some of the games against the NFC East. Like I said, I'm just doing this based off knowledge. I know they got their division. I believe they can at least beat the Bears twice, if not split with them. Like I said, they could probably steal a game from the Packers, and I'm pretty sure they can probably split or sweep not Detroit, but the Vikings. I think that's a really good matchup for them. They're definitely a team in the division that can definitely compete because nobody in that division is a clear-cut number 1. I know the Packers are on my list. I'll get to them later. So I'll break them down later. The Bears, they're pretty solid defensively, but offensively they're just in shambles. The wide receiver core is really, really inexperienced. They just picked up N'Keal Harry not that long ago. They got Darnell Mooney. I think they still have Anthony Miller. They picked that one receiver who came out the draft 25, 26 years old. I think Velus Jones out of Tennessee. Their offensive line isn't really that great. They got Cole Kmet at tight end. I think they still have Jimmy Graham there. Next team in my list is the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, underneath the tenure of a Tua Tagovailoa, I know with Brian Flores, it started off really, really shaky, especially that first year where the NFL was about to have a real investigation of them actually tanking, which in sense didn't make any sort of sense because why would a minority head coach like Brian Flores just take on a team that wasn't that good anyway and just be forced to tank? That was the year that Minkah Fitzpatrick got traded to the Steelers that year. Basically any top player they had got traded except for Xavier Howard, of course. But what I'm basically saying was going to be really intriguing was that once they selected Tua with the 5th overall pick, they basically have been a 9-win plus team for the past 2 to 3 years. They won 10-6. Tua's first year in the NFL of Tua. They won 9 games, and then he's entering into his 3rd year. And one thing I've noticed with Tua Tagovailoa, they didn't really build a really, really good team around him for him to flourish. They definitely did it this offseason without a doubt. They brought in Raheem Mostert. That was a really, really nice running back that the Niners had. They brought in the most electrifying player, honestly, in my opinion, and total game changer in Tyreek Hill. You got Jalen Waddle, who's definitely a really, really good receiver. They brought in a really, really nice left tackle that I really love out of New Orleans, Teron Armstead. So that's going to be a really nice left tackle piece for Tua Tagovailoa's blind side. You have Josh Jackson that they had drafted 2-3 years ago at the USC. They got Mike Gesicki at tight end. And then now let's turn over to the defense. Now they got Jerome Baker. They got Xavier Howard. They got Jalen Phillips. They have a really, really nice squad that's intriguing. The reason why, for me, why it's going to be really intriguing seeing this team is how can Tua go into his third year with all these great amount of weapons that he has. This is another team, of course, like basically every team. I'm going to repeat myself. It's just based off health, because I feel like all these, these are all NFL teams, and I feel like with enough great talent and good coaching, they can definitely get it done. They had Mike Daniels, who's the offensive coordinator for the Niners, running the ball, and that's something I think that the Chiefs will definitely lean on this year. I said the Chiefs, my bad, the Dolphins. I feel the Dolphins will really build off that this year. If they can definitely get Tyreek, Jalen Waddle in space, those are definitely both guys who run like 4.2s, 4.1s. Those are really fast dudes. You definitely you create space, do smoke screens, and you give them handoffs to Waddle and Tyreek. Man, they can definitely take it to the house, man. So it's definitely gonna be intriguing, because the main storyline is Tyreek move on from Patrick Mahomes, because you see Tyreek Hill has been hyping up Tua Tagovailoa, and I love Tua Tagovailoa coming out of Alabama when he came out. I thought definitely he was the best quarterback out of that draft. But of course, you saw Joe Burrow come out in 2019 with that amazing performance, and then you saw Justin Herbert had an amazing season that year, and then he followed that up with another good season. He's definitely really good quarterback, but we got to see how Justin Herbert turns out. Joe Burrow took his team in his first full year to the Super Bowl. So it's definitely going to see what Tua Tagovailoa is about. They definitely got a way better team surrounding him this time around. And I'm really pulling in. I'm really rooting for him. I really hope that he does succeed. And they're definitely. I believe there will be a wild card team. The Bills are definitely the piece. They're definitely the head honcho of that division. The Patriots are always going to be solid year in and year out. So it's definitely going to be intriguing watching the Dolphins. Like I said, based on Tua Tagovailoa, how will Mike Daniels fare out as head coach? And with all the new additions that the Dolphins bring in, how will they be acclimated into the offense? So yeah, it's going to be definitely intriguing watching the Dolphins, man, this year. So the Browns, and as you can see in my notes, I put it around in parentheses how the Browns are going to be intriguing to watch if Deshaun Watson is not suspended for a year. In my opinion, I think he will be suspended for a year, but there has been many different reports that come out. There have been reports that he might not get any games suspended. I heard some reports that he might only get suspended for 4 to 6 games. So basically, this answer is going to vary, because I think if Deshaun Watson's able to play at least around like week 9 of the NFL season, which will leave him to about 9 to 8. It's going to leave him around like 8 to 9 weeks of where he has enough room to definitely get back and acclimated into the NFL and the rhythm of it and everything like that. And the Browns really got an intriguing team. They have a really good offensive line. The wide receiver core is not that good. Amari Cooper is definitely the best one that they got. But, of course, they lost Jarvis Landry. They already released Odell Beckham Jr., so I don't think they'll ever be rekindled. They have a tight end by committee. They have David Njoku, Hunter Bryant, and I believe they still have Austin Hooper. So that's definitely a solid tight end room right there. Your running back room is amazing with Kareem Hunt, Kareem Hunt, then Nick Chubb, and then the defense got Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett, Grant Delpit. This is definitely an intriguing team that if Deshaun Watson doesn't get suspended for that many games, or if he doesn't get suspended at all, this is definitely going to be a team to me that's definitely going to be intriguing. They're definitely going to have storylines every game about, when is Deshaun Watson going to be coming back from suspension if he does get suspended. If he's suspended for a year, this is definitely a team I'm not going to watch, of course. I feel like he's really solid. He's definitely a quarterback that if your main quarterback goes down, he definitely can fill in the reins and play, possibly win you 8 to 9 games. I definitely don't see where he's a quarterback that can definitely take you to the promised land, but he's definitely like a Jimmy Garoppolo type of quarterback where you get him in, run the ball, you don't ask him to do too much. Maybe the most you ask out of him is to make a critical throw here and there. But like I said, if it's full year suspension, I don't see the Browns being intriguing at all to watch. And for the Packers, everyone's super hyped up Aaron Rodgers. To me, yes, he's still a really, really good quarterback, but he's just a good regular season quarterback. It seems like anytime he plays the Niners, he just folds every single time. Every time he goes to the NFC Championship, it seems like he can't get past that. He played against Atlanta, got blown out. He lost the lead, blew a lead against Seattle. Seattle came back and beat them. He lost to Tom Brady in Tampa in 2020 with that COVID year, Then last year, they were the number 1 seed. They were highly favored to go to the Super Bowl. Then they lost to the Niners in the second round. So then they lost Davante Adams in free agency. Well, they didn't lose him in free agency because they didn't sign him to a contract. They just traded him away to the Raiders for, I believe, only a first-round pick, which is crazy to me that basically in most people's opinion, that, Davante Adams is clear number 1 wide receiver in the league. I believe he is, in my opinion, as well. I really, really, really like Davante Adams, man. So, then they're, now they're basically depending on a lot of rookies. They're depending on that Christian Watson kid out of North Dakota State, Romeo Dubes out of Nevada, that I really, really like coming out of the draft. Both receivers, like I said, Christian Watson, Romeo Dubes. I definitely love those receivers. Then you get Randall Cobb as your receiver core. You have Robert Tonyan. You're getting David Bakhtiari back. You have Elgton Jenkins. So it's definitely going to be intriguing to watch them on offense. You have Aaron Jones. So what's that running back they got? A.J. Dillon, yeah. So it's definitely going to be intriguing to watch them on offense. And on defense, you still got Jair Alexander, Adrian Amos, Darnell Savage, Kenny Clark, and then they drafted some of the Georgia kids like Channing Tindall, and I forgot one of the, I think Devontae Wyatt. Yeah. Devontae Wyatt is definitely one of the defensive linemen that they got in the draft. They got, I forgot his name. I know his last name is Strokes. I think Derek Strokes or Eric Strokes, something like that. The kid out of Georgia. He's definitely going to be intriguing to watch. He had a really, really good first year, but it's going to be intriguing to watch the Packers and see how they win games this year, especially since they don't have a clear-cut number 1 wide receiver, and they have a bunch of inexperienced guys or has-been guys. So it's definitely going to be intriguing to watch them. And like I was saying in the division with the Lions, is that the division isn't really that good. I can definitely see the Packers sneaking into the playoffs as like a 4th seed, barely winning the division, with like maybe 9 games they win and they win that division. I think that's going to be a really bad division this year. Like I said, I was hyping up the Lions, but I still feel like the Lions are going to win at least like 6 to 7 games, if that, depending on injuries. But the Packers, they are really intriguing to see this year because everyone hypes up Aaron Rodgers and says how he's this great of a quarterback and how he can play with a bunch of backups and win you games. So we're going to see what the Packers are made of this year, man. Yeah, it's going to be really intriguing. And then my second to last is the Bengals. Normally storylines for teams that had made this Super Bowl previous year and then them going into the next season is normally the record is never really that great. The only teams that have good records after that, it's only been a couple teams. The Patriots, the Chiefs, the Chiefs and Bucks. Both teams made the playoffs. Chiefs went to the championship game. Bucks went to the divisional round. And then the year before that was the Niners and the Chiefs. And the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl the year after that. The Niners didn't make the playoffs. With the Panthers and if you look at the Panthers and Broncos, I'm going a couple years back before that. The Broncos didn't make the playoffs near the Panthers. Then you go the year after that with the Falcons and Patriots. Both teams had made the playoffs. But, with that case, the Patriots went to the Super Bowl. They went back to back, and not winning, but they went to a Super Bowl the previous year. Then they went to oh my bad, they had went to championship, the AFC Championship, then had went to the Super Bowl. My bad. Then the Falcons, they went from the Super Bowl and lost in the oh no, yeah. They beat the Rams, but went to the divisional round and lost to the Eagles. But basically the odds are against the Bengals of them even making the playoffs. They still have really great weapons on offense. Defense, they still have a bunch of cool guys. We definitely got to see about the news with Jesse Bates about him potentially holding out because he doesn't want to play on the tag, which I don't blame him at all. Definitely has to go out there and go get his money. So it's definitely intriguing because they have a brand new improved offensive line. They added La'el Collins from my Cowboys that we just released. We basically gifted them an offensive lineman, Alex Kappa. They signed from the Bucks. I believe they went out and they drafted another guy. Then they still have Jonah Williams at left tackle. So, they still have Hayden Hurst. They signed Hayden Hurst, which is a really solid tight end out of the Falcons. And, you still got Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine, so they still have a bunch of cool cats out there. On defense, they got Joby Awuzie. They drafted Daxton Hill. You got Trey Hendrickson, so they still have a bunch of really, really nice dudes. DJ Reader. The list goes on and on with that team. They really have a really good roster, and it's definitely intriguing to what they're going to bring because within that division alone, you got the Ravens. The Ravens come and they're healthy. They're definitely going to be a force in that division. The Steelers are definitely going to be a sneaky team. You guys already know the stat with Mike Tomlin never having a losing season. The Browns are going to be intriguing depending on how many games Deshaun Watson gets suspended or whatever the disciplinary is for Deshaun Watson. That's definitely going to be intriguing with the Bengals, man, for next year. So they're definitely an intriguing team in my opinion. And the last couple, this is definitely going to be 4 teams I'm going to go over. So the entire AFC West to me is going to be just intriguing to watch because that division all has arguably Justin Herbert's really good. I had a video a couple days ago discussing where I view Justin Herbert. I feel like he's a really good quarterback, but I don't feel like he's top 10. But if you look at everybody else in that division, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. So to me, he's number 1 in that division. You have Derek Carr, who to me is a top 10 quarterback. They got Russell Wilson, to me, is a top 10 quarterback, and Justin Herbert, who I think is really good, who will potentially crack the top 10 if they can make it to the playoffs. But if you look throughout that entire division, 90% of free agency all went to the AFC West because they all got better. So I'm just going to start off team by team kind of quickly. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I'm really intrigued on what they're going to do because you definitely saw in the offseason where their mindset was with Brett Veach, the GM of the Chiefs. You definitely saw that they're trying to go younger and so they can save a little bit more on the cap. You still got Patrick Mahomes and then Travis Kelce. Your offensive line is great. I don't know what's going to end up happening with Orlando Brown. He wanted to get paid by the Chiefs, and the Chiefs reportedly gave him a mega contract, but he ended up turning it down. But they still have Creed Humphrey, who to me is one of the best centers in the league. He's really great to watch. I like Trey Smith, the right guard. I like Joe Thuney. Even without Tyreek Hill, because for the past 3 to 4 years you've been watching Patrick Mahomes, that offense has been super explosive because they can score in bunches and they can score at any given time because you have an elite game changer like Tyreek Hill. Then you have the best tight end in the league with Travis Kelce that can he can play outside outside the numbers, inside the numbers. He can play a tight end. He's just a tight end. He's just do-it-all tight end. He's even their wildcat quarterback if they need him to play quarterback. So that's definitely a team that's definitely going to be intriguing. And then they let go of Tyrann Mathieu, who had a really, really good season last year. But they ended up replacing him with the safety, Brian Cook out of Cincinnati. I think legal troubles happened with Frank Clark. Or if there wasn't legal, I know there was legal troubles, but I don't know. I think that's why they got George Karlaftis, because they definitely didn't have any edge presence outside of Frank Clark. Frank Clark was definitely one of their best pass rushers, him and Chris Jones. Chris Jones being one of their most dominant ones. But they just basically wanted more pressure to go out the quarterback. They lost Tre'Davious Ward to the Niners. and they replaced him with a Trick McDuffie, really, really nice cornerback out of Washington. So they definitely went a whole lot younger on their team, and it's definitely going to be intriguing to watch them. The Raiders, they went out and they got Davante Adams, the best receiver in my opinion. Now that offense has totally changed, especially with them having a new head coach in Josh McDaniels, who has been a really good offensive coordinator out of New England. One of the masterminds with Belichick, and he was really great working with Tom Brady, and he understands and knows how to utilize his offensive weapons and their players to their strengths. So it's going to be really intriguing to watch the Raiders because, let's just start off with the offense. Derek Carr to me is the top 10 quarterback, like I already said. Davante Adams, you got Hunter Renfrow, you got Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake. Then you still have a pretty solid offensive line, and that alone, I feel like with that offense, they're definitely going to be a really good offense where I don't think you can really check none of those guys, because I feel like Hunter Renfrow is the best slot receiver in the league. Davante Adams is one of the best overall wide receivers in the league. You gave Darren Waller, who to me is the top 3 wide receiver, top 3 tight end in the league. That's definitely a team that's definitely going to be intriguing to watch. Defense, they brought in Chandler Jones. They signed Max Crosby to a mega deal. I like their corners with Nate Hobbs, Amik Robertson. I love their free safety Trayvon Moehrig at TCU, and I believe this is a really, really nice team that's gonna definitely sneak up. Not sneak on nobody, because I really feel like they have a really good roster. But they're another thing. If they're healthy, I definitely can see them going out there and making the playoffs for sure. Broncos, they already had a nice little roster in place, and now all they needed really was a big time quarterback, and they got there with Russell Wilson. He played with a great defense before. He's led teams where he had to be the man, and he had to go win games out there. So out in Seattle, so it's really going to be intriguing to watch them, because now the Broncos finally have a good quarterback. It's going to be intriguing what they can do with the Russell Wilson. They got Colin Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Greg Dulcich out of UCLA, nice receiving threat. They got Garrett Bowles at left tackle. They have a really good offensive line. You got Javonte Williams at UNC. Then on defense, they got a really nice pass rusher in Bradley Chubb. They got Pat Surtain. They got Kyler Fuller. It's got Justin Simmons, Caden Stearns, Kareem Jackson. That team is really, really, really nice. It's going to be really intriguing to see what the Broncos bring. So, then you've been hearing reports, obviously, which is really a no-brainer, about how the offensive coordinator for the Broncos is tailoring their offense around Russell Wilson, which you should do anyway for your quarterback, no matter who he is. The Chargers, Justin Herbert, to me, I feel like he's definitely going to crack the top 10 list. Depends if he can make the playoffs this year with this team. They're another team that splashed big in free agency. You still got Justin Herbert on the rookie deal. You got running backs like Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson. You got at receiver Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Then you got your slot receiver Jalen Guyton. Then your left tackle that I really, really like, Rashawn Slater. You got Brian Bulaga, so at right tackle. You got Corey Linsley. Then you got Zion Johnson that you drafted, which is a really, really nice guard that I liked out of Boston College. Then you still have Derwin James, who, if he can stay healthy, is a really, really nice safety. You got free safety, you got Nazir Adderley. Then you have at corner J.C. Jackson, which is a really, really nice pickup for them. They ended up signing him to a big deal. Then you traded for Khalil Mack. Then you had brought in, you still got, what's that dude's name? Joey Bosa. So, this is definitely going to be a team. This whole division is going to be intriguing because they're all going to have really, really nice games against each other. This is definitely a team that's going to come down to at least week 18, because if they're all healthy for the most part, this is definitely all teams that can potentially be winning the AFC West, or you can potentially see the first time ever we have all 4 teams potentially in the playoffs. So this is definitely going to be intriguing this year, man, with that entire division and all the teams I've listed before, man. So if you guys like the video, like. If you're new, subscribe, and comment your guys' teams to watch out for this NFL season, man. And hopefully you guys have a nice day. See you later.